Can you tell us a bit more about yourself and your art practice?
Yeah, my name is Amanda Stojanov, and I'm from Ottawa, Ontario, Canada. That's where I was born, and I grew up there until I was 10, and then I moved to the US. And from there, I studied in university. I studied graphic design, and so I started to look at like visual communication and tools, but I was excited by it, but also a little bit bored with just working for clients and thinking about what people needed to communicate clearly instead of maybe asking questions. So I went to graduate school into Art Center College of Design I was going to study media design and field work, so working with communities and design. But I ran into the same kind of questions about where is this leading me and what am I looking for? So I applied to go to UCLA graduate school for art and transfer, and that's what I did. And there it was a totally different world from design. It was much more new media art, and they were very steeped in new media art. I worked with like Jennifer Steinkamp and Casey Rees, who created the software processing, and Chandler McWilliams and Lauren McCarthy came at the end. So it was just like this huge world of amazing artists. And I actually did end up working with Barbara Kruger, who was one of my idols from university when I was studying graphic design. So it was a really nice rounded out experience. And so from there, I started exploring topics about, it started really with women, like, when you're growing up and you're just sort of learning about critical theory and, things. And so I was like, women's rights, what does that mean to me? What does that look like? And then as I began to learn more, it became more complicated, obviously, with intersectionality and learning about bringing in all kinds of things like culture and race and gender and sexuality, and even things like citizenship status. And so I was also studying gender studies at UCLA, which is what it was called at the time. I believe it still is. And so I took courses in that. I was going towards certificate in that. And so that really informed my artwork. And so I started to make work based on readings and writings about cultures of, resistance and of overcoming sort of these cultural oppressions. And that was really interesting to me. And I started to explore that through visual media, videos, game engines, creating spaces, trying to get away from maybe making literal essays into more visual representations, and always kind of walking that line between communicating something like in a design world and then creating something visual for people to think about. And so I'm still there. I'm still complicating it. I think of myself as kind of a new artist, and like potentially I'm going to work on this practice until I'm very old, in my 80s. And like if I find big success in my 80s, that would be great. I think I'm happy with what I've accomplished. But so it's just a long practice, and I really say I started at like 22, 23, and now I'm 30. So I think 7 years is a short time to be an artist, and it's been really fun and rewarding. But that's where I'm at now.
Plenty more time to do your art practice. Exactly. So how does it feel being involved in this kind of virtual residency, and what will your project be about?
Mm-hmm. So I'm really glad to be part of this. I didn't mention, but I'm an assistant professor at Monmouth University. So a lot of my practice has been about balancing making artwork with teaching. And since I started teaching just 3 months at the university, 3 months before the pandemic, I didn't really have an opportunity to do any in-person residencies. I did a few online programs, but they were very large, and this one's very small, and it's nice to have such a kind of a close community. So that's been nice. And my project, I'm still working with game design works, and from the work I was doing and still do with sort of like outward facing cultural topics. I'm trying more to integrate my personal experience and ground it a little bit more in my lived experience, to speak from that point of view. So I'm doing work with fabrics, and there's a long history of coding in fabrics, like how they are connected through the jacquard loom technology and punch coding that was created by the same inventor. So I and my whole grandma side, they all did weaving. So I'm going to be doing quilting, just basic sewing, quilting, and putting that together and looking at the fabrics. And I also want to create a digital component of that I can sort of use as a way to look at the fabrics from a different point of view outside of the physical environment and tell a story there as well, either with text or audio, about how this work connects to all the things that I've been thinking about since I started making art, like generational experiences, how we pass knowledge on, women's work, things like that.
Any new exciting projects or exhibitions coming up, maybe?
Yeah,
what are your plans?
So this is a new body of work that I'm hoping to continue making fabrics. It really excites me, and combining it with digital work. So I just finished a series of projects using code and visualizations, and I exhibited those in all kinds of places, local galleries in New Jersey and on the shore, and also at like the College Art Association's New Media Caucus conferences. So that was really exciting and successful. So this new body, I'm hoping to do that. And in the meantime, because I am working towards my tenure, I'm writing also. So I have a paper that I'm presenting in this in the fall at a Connecticut college, the Emmerman Center for Technology. It's called, let me think, the paper title. It's kind of long. I probably need to edit it down, but it's about using feminist HCI, so feminist human-computer interaction principles, in the classroom. And I'm going to be talking about a project I did with my graduate students this past spring, and about telling their personal stories and how that actually is drawing from feminist principles, and it's very crucial for interaction design education to be able to integrate that kind of pedagogy. So that's what I'm working on this summer after the residency, is writing that paper, and hopefully publishing it after the conference.
Good luck with everything. Thank you for this interview.
Thank you.